Guess I'm doing things in twos lately. I've got everything all set up. I might as well read a journal. This is from 5/1. I didn't log the Mayan day yet, so I'll just get into it. I haven't been journaling for a number of days. Not sure why, or even why I'm here at the word processor now. Maybe just to find out if there's anything in there to share. I with I, or me with you, or whatever. Often you don't really know until you start writing, so here goes. I did have a sort of mini realization recently. I remember thinking how neat that was and wondering if it would turn into a video or turn up in a video at some point. Looks like it will. Now, how to best get it into words? First of all, be in heart, but of course, you're not going to hear me or hear what's really being said if you're stuck in a mind perspective. And it's funny, too, because you know all the words that I'll use, you know what they mean and all of that, but that's not where it's at. That's the linear view. This isn't words I'm passing to you, it's energy. Energy of a certain sort or frequency. Who knows? Maybe it really boils down to something simple like that. That mind handles certain frequencies and heart the other ones. Could be, you know. When we get our big revelations, they're almost always quite simple. Anyway, be in heart for the best trip with these journals, all of them. Now, are you in heart? You need to be, this time especially. Why is that? Because this one is about writing. And a lot of you may have your various blocks against that for whatever reason. Only this isn't that. This is different. Here's the deal. You don't know what you'll get when you journal. You've probably watched me often enough doing this. You know how it goes. You start off with whatever comes to you when you're centered. It's usually something very mundane seeming, but it turns out to be the entree into the truly magical kingdom, the kingdom of heart. The deal is that this is a way for you to link up with higher self. What came to me in a flash was that anyone can do this, and that most people don't because their vision is too small, or more likely their vision of themselves is too small. But if people could just get this as an idea, a possibility, well, wondrous things would result. Would, not could. Things aren't what they seem, and that includes you. Chances are excellent that you haven't much more than a clue about your real identity. Well, that's fine. Don't let that hold you back. Just realize that the magic, if there is any here, isn't in me. It's a property of heart, and most everyone has one of those, including you. Now, this isn't mediumship or anything strange, okay? Nor is it a regular diary or anything normal. It's unique, something all its own. You have all sorts of things that you're waiting to reveal to yourself. Yes, to you, as soon as you find the key, the way to make that happen. Right now, you've got all kinds of ideas, beliefs, and such in the way. But don't let any of that stop you either. Anyone can do this. You just put pencil or pen to paper. To me, the best, the purest way. I even used a gold fountain pen for a while. Hey, writing is totally cool. But if you don't like that, then word processing is fine too. It's just that your force field is more totally pure when you don't have the electronic soup around while you're writing. So, paper will always be best. And you can also record your voice. Ultimately, the how doesn't matter. Just find a way both to let the words flow and some way to capture them. That's the whole point. The word is alchemy. There's a real alchemy that can happen there, and we don't know because we haven't been told or shown. Well, now you are. This is a door that can open for you just as easy, even more so than it does for me. I had to learn by myself. You have a tutor. You know how the journals teach you to watch and observe? Recall to mind a few of the simple guidelines around that because they apply equally to this. Actually, once this clicks for you, it won't be the you that you're used to being that's writing. You'll be watching instead. Hard to explain, but it doesn't matter. As long as you stay out of mind with it, you'll be fine. Now, what counts with this? After the basic setup, which includes you being in heart, inward focused and ignoring mind, what counts is flow. There's no need to be concerned that the words will come faster than you can write. That would be the way if mind was speaking, but it's not. Speed won't be an issue if you're anything like me anyway, so let that go. What counts, though, is going with the flow. Start with whatever comes to you. Seriously, even if it's that your dog needs a pedicure or there's a bug on the window, it doesn't matter. Just get the words going and then watch. Don't judge, just watch. That's why it's important for you to know how to do the watch and observe thing, which I've spent so many journals on, I'm not going back over it now. Just consider it said. After that, it's all about flow. Here are the things I found that best let the flow go unhampered with me. I hope they'll work for you as well. First, don't stop to correct anything. Not spelling, not anything. Leave it be. You can go back later in edit mode. That's a mental thing. Besides, spell check will help you do most of that if you're word processing. It's just not important enough to interrupt the flow. But it's more than that. What it is mental. And that will take you right out of heart. So, leave the nitpicky editing stuff for last. Now, actually, that's the biggest thing. As a communicator, and with the schooling to go with it, I was a bit anal retentive about the nitpicky stuff when I started out. It took a good while back then of going in and out of the really good flow and into mind back and forth like that before I realized how I was causing it. Once I saw it, it was a well, duh. It was obvious. But not at the time, of course. Beyond that, do your very best to be just the observer of flow. Don't judge. Don't get in the way. Don't let mind get in the way, really. That's usually the challenge, mind chiming in. But don't edit yourself regardless. That stops the flow. Remember, too, you didn't learn to walk the first time you stood up and tried it. But you did, eventually. No expectations is best. Excuse me. Some people have this performance anxiety thing when they think they've got to be perfect, or at least great at whatever they do. If that's you, it may help a lot to realize that comes from the mind. That's why all the previous journals covering how to let go and just watch are so useful. That's what you want to do here. And please don't treat it like channeling. It's really not that. If you'll just stick to heart, this won't be an issue. The flow is something so natural that your mind will often wonder about how this works, where it's coming from, and the like. It's so very natural, but one thing it's not, and that's mental. Heart can think. Did you know that? Have you visited Heart Math or bought any of their great work? They do the science behind the magic that is heart. Now, they mostly work with the physical heart organ, and this isn't that. Still, it has plenty that does apply, like the huge electromagnetic toroidal field around you that's maintained by your heart. It's pretty darn neat. Anyway, neurotransmitters, which are, or were once thought to be strictly brain chemicals, are generated not just by the brain. Now we know, and Heart Math has proof, that the heart generates them too. So does the gut, and so does the spine. Yeah, in a few short decades, we'll have a whole new understanding around how we think. We already know all these diverse parts of the body are involved. The old theories have yet to go, but they're weakening, so don't let them hold you back. Heart can think. And that means that just because you see something that looks suspiciously like thinking coming into your writing, you can just stick with the flow. It's not necessarily mind. Don't self-judge or criticize, remember? That blocks the flow in a heartbeat, and it's obviously mind-generated. Criticism and judgment always is. Now, for those unavoidable times, and they will come maybe often at first, when you do get off into a mind thing, no big deal. Now I'm going to say that again, no big deal. It's so easy, it's hilarious. Just refocus back into heart. Just shift your attention back to the center of your chest, that's all. And zap, you broke the spell. All the spells and curses are in mind. And you're back on track, back in the flow. Mostly, we have to learn to lighten up on the self. This comes in every flavor and size, but it's what I see not just in me, but pretty much in anyone. We're too hard on the self. From time spent watching, my discovery was that again and again, and maybe always, it came from mind. Now, that's huge. If you really heard it, if you're in heart, then you just had something really big plopped into your lap. Look to mind always when you're challenged in this way or that. It doesn't matter what way, pretty much. The culprit is always mind, or it leads back to that. You've got to check it out for yourself, though. One man's dinner won't put the pounds on another man. But still, it saves you from reinventing the wheel, and you'll go faster than I did. Loving the self. That's at the heart of what's needed, here and everywhere. We do all the crazy things we do out of absence of self-love. Add to that how we're letting mind run the show, and it's the worst taskmaster and slave driver around. It's even cruel. Watch yourself. See if it isn't so, or if it is for you. It was for me. So as you take this ride, it's not like you've got a whole lot of goodies up there in the higher self, and you just open your journaling suitcase and say, hey, give it here. Not like that. Stay in heart with me now. In heart, you're never in time. You're up above the linear past, present, future view of things, way above that. What you've got here is the eternal now. Get a sense of that. Take a moment. The eternal, the perpetual now. Remember, all your lifetimes, just now. Stick to heart, and when mind starts to object, just turn back to heart. Don't listen. So what you've got here in the journaling is just that. You're sort of capturing or memorializing the eternal flow of the now. What that means is that it's what's happening right here under your nose, right within heart, that counts. It's a flow that will be a process of expansion for you. It's not that you'll be learning. At times it will seem like that, but if you step back and look again, I think you'll see it's really integrating that you're doing. You and higher self becoming one. More like remembering. You already know every single thing you're going to discover. Try that on for size. The thing is, though, it isn't known to your conscious mind. It's in the greater you that you find it, and in this process of linking up with that, you will be changed. It can't be helped. This work will move you, it will shake you, and it will surprise you endlessly. It's nothing linear at all, nothing that mind can even begin to grasp. Now, chances are very good that you'll have to discover every bit of what I've said here for yourself. Chances are good because you still think you are a separate individual, right? And that's how separation works. But it's in the doing that you'll be made to see in some magical way that you're really just one. The one robed in flesh. It's a magical walk I invite one and all to take here. You're not on your own with it either. I'm right here, as close as your very own chest, your heart, or the internet, but you really do have all the answers within. Well, this is one way to mine a few of them. I wouldn't go looking for any particular things, however. Why not? Because you're bringing the past in with you if you do that. A desire you came up with, and putting expectations on things that you'll get a particular answer or an answer to a particular question. It's far better to go in alone, all one, and empty. Leave off thinking. Let everything go and just flow. No thoughts, no expectations of any kind, just fully being in now. You'll meet resistance. And that would be mind every time. Be on the lookout. That's my guess anyway, but you find out for yourself. Do your own observing. Don't trust mine or anyone else's in this. You're going to stand on your very own feet to enter your very own heart. Sure, once you really get there, you'll find us all within and with you as well. But not until you make your very own way in. So do have fun with this. Above all, don't let it be a chore or uncomfortable or drudgery or anything like that. All of that is mind-based. This will be a real adventure where you'll be guided step by step into putting on your own higher self. There will be much you'll be shown that must be discarded, surrendered. It'll be pointed out. We're all so full of so much excess baggage that it's little wonder we're burdened and down in the mouth so much. So let's let it go. And it will hurt at times. Don't think it won't. Whatever feelings there are, whatever ones exist, you'll likely be brought to and through them at some point along your way. I'm telling you, and I stand behind it, journaling has its own kind of magic, and it's very real. You'll be blessed if you decide to go for it and do some journaling of your own. Namaste. And that was the end of that. What I'll add to it is that journaling is a way to accelerate your progress. Words. It accelerates the journey. You just don't know what you know. It seems normal to put pen to paper and start writing, and it's the ho-hum mind that thinks it's mundane. It doesn't have to be. This is something that's pretty darn magical, and I hope many of you will give it a try. Good day. Yes, I'm doing things in twos lately. I've got everything all set up. I might as well read a journal. This is from 5/1. I didn't log the Mayan day yet, so I'll just get into it. I haven't been journaling for a number of days. Not sure why, or even why I'm here at the word processor now. Maybe just to find out if there's anything in there to share. I with I, or me with you, or whatever. Often you don't really know until you start writing, so here goes. I did have a sort of mini realization recently. I remember thinking how neat that was and wondering if it would turn into a video or turn up in a video at some point. Looks like it will. Now, how to best get it into words? First of all, be in heart, but of course, you're not going to hear me or hear what's really being said if you're stuck. Anyway, be in heart for the best trip with these journals, all of them. Now, are you in heart? You need to be, this time especially. Why is that? Because this one is about writing. And a lot of you may have your various blocks against that for whatever reason. Only this isn't that. This is different. Here's the deal. You don't know what you'll get when you journal. You've probably watched me often enough doing this. You know how it goes. You start off with whatever comes to you when you're centered. It's usually something very mundane seeming, but it turns out to be the entree into the truly magical kingdom, the kingdom of heart. The deal is that this is a way for you to link up with higher self. What came to me in a flash was that anyone can do this, and that most people don't because their vision is too small, or more likely their vision of themselves is too small in a mind perspective. And it's funny too, because you know all the words that I'll use, you know what they mean and all of that, but that's not where it's at. That's the linear view. This isn't words I'm passing to you, it's energy. Energy of a certain sort or frequency. Who knows? Maybe it really boils down to something simple like that. That mind handles certain frequencies and heart the other ones. Could be, you know. When we get our big revelations, they're almost always quite simple.